Aotearoa, a fairly active start to the week in terms of our weather. We've got one feature out towards the west. That's pushing in across the western side of the North Line today, bringing that risk of heavy showers, perhaps even the rumble of thunder and some hail. Down south, we've got a southerly change which is making its way up the country, and that brings with it the risk of some snowfall back over the higher ground of the South Island as we head through the daytime today. So you can see that southerly change making its way northwards, bringing that moisture and that cold air, turning that to snow over the tops of parts of Southland and Otago, perhaps down to around about 300-400 metres as we head through the day today. But also that's going to be low enough to impact those higher mountain passes and those higher farms as well. As we head through in towards Tuesday, we'll continue to see that southerly change making its way northwards, pushing up in towards the North Line, keeping things rather showery up through here. Some pretty strong winds up through the likes of, say, Auckland, and the likes of Canterbury as well. Snow still over the higher ground of Canterbury, Marlborough, perhaps even in towards parts of the North Line. The Desert Road, seeing some snowfall through there as well. You can see we'll keep hold of an onshore feed of air in towards the likes of the Aotearoa district and Gisborne. Sadly for you, it's another wet-looking week. Elsewhere, high pressure begins to build back towards us, which should keep things a little bit more settled across the South Island as we head through in towards Wednesday and Thursday, particularly across this western side where we'll find some clearer skies and some sunshine. But out towards the east, we'll keep hold of this onshore feed of air through parts of Tairafti and Hawke's Bay, which will keep more cloud and showery weather through here as well. Perhaps there's still a few showers in towards Wellington. But down south, the high pressure becomes more dominant. It still keeps that cold air over us. So I think we've still got some more cold and frosty nights, but generally drier for that second half of the week. And you can see for the North Island as well, things generally improving in terms of drier weather for the likes of Auckland, Waikato, as we head through the week as well. For Thursday, well, the high pressure is pretty much over us. A nice, big, broad area of high pressure. You can see those winds in that anti-clockwise fashion. Still keeping more cloud around this eastern coast of the North Island. Still some showers pushing through in towards Tairafti, but many of us find it's a drier end to the week for Thursday and even through in towards Friday. Similar sort of affair. I think where you have those winds coming in off the sea, we'll keep more cloud up and towards the mountains of Hawke's Bay, Wairarapa, and even in towards Tairafti. Perhaps an odd shower skirts around that southern coast in towards Wellington. And you can see a few showers skirting up across the far north as well. But for most of us, by the time we head in towards Wednesday onwards, it's a much drier story. It's worth saying, I think we still find that cold air is still with us. In terms of our rainfall, well, you can see it's a fairly good amount of rain with us first thing. These western areas catching those heavier showers. There's still the risk of perhaps one or two rumbles of thunder around this eastern part of the North Island as we head in towards Tuesday. You can imagine those winds pushing through in towards the likes of Wairoa, keeping that wet weather through there as well. By the end of the week, most of those spots on the western side of this run of mountains stay dry, but we'll keep hold of more cloud through parts of Wairarapa, Hawke's Bay and Tairafti through the daytime. On the South Island, you've got that southerly change moving northwards, which will bring with it not only the wetter weather, but also the risk of some snowfall, particularly down to around about as low as 200 metres through parts of the South Island for the early hours of Tuesday morning. That will pick up pretty quickly, but I think we've got a cold start and some snowfall through there. So well worth keeping a close eye on the forecast if you plan to do any of those crossings of the higher mountain passes, or if your farm's above about 500 metres, it's a cold and perhaps a snowy story for you. Now, one of the other things to watch out for will be temperatures this week. It's a cold air mass, that southerly change pushing that cold air up and across New Zealand. And with the high pressure building in behind it, you've got some clearer skies. Clear skies, already cold air, lighter winds, the perfect ingredients for some pretty cold and frosty nights. So well worth thinking about that as we head through towards the end of the week. But in terms of drier weather, it definitely does look like things pick up. Once we head through to the end of this week and in towards the start of next, we have that high pressure over the top of us. So things fairly settled there for Saturday. You can see generally plenty of dry weather. A bit more of that onshore feed of air for those eastern coasts of Northern. Find a bit more cloud through there. And just watching perhaps the potential for another area of low pressure developing off that eastern coast of Australia as we head through towards the start of next week. That's it from me. There's more at MetService.com.